Hey guys, it is Holy Basil back with another video, and today's subject discussion is the adult film industry. I'm going to try not to say trigger words because I don't want to get blocked or struck down or threatened by YouTube, but I think it'll be pretty obvious what we're talking about here. And lately I've seen such a trend in content standing up against the adult film industry from Christians and people who aren't Christians. You don't have to be a Christian to understand that pornography is not good. You can look at all the effects on the brain, addiction, dopamine, the depression rates, everything. For me, a little backstory, I was first exposed to pornography in middle school. That struck an addiction for me that lasted way longer than I wanted it to. It caused me to walk in shame. It caused me to be afraid to truly submit to God because I had something deep, dark, and hidden in my life that I thought was protected from the outside world. When I got saved, Jesus healed me of that. Still, the temptation was there, and sometimes I'll admit I did slip up. As I prepared to get married 5 years ago, I thought that temptation would completely absolve, but I was wrong. Because when you get married, the newness wears off and those previous temptations come back up. But as a righteous man, our call is to kill the desires of the flesh. As I prepare for the birth of my daughter in September, our firstborn, it motivates me even more to be a true man of God and not a hypocrite. So let's get into the facts. 1. More than 40 million Americans consume porn. And this is more than the population of Canada was just a couple of years ago. So that's 40 million people. That's a lot. A lot of broken people in need of freeing from an addiction. Some people are not ashamed of it. Some people are. 2, the porn industry's annual revenue is greater than the NFL, NBA, and MLB combined. Those are American sports, for those of you who didn't know. So it's crazy to see the priority that we have in this country, that we value this adult entertainment more than we do sports. And I'm not saying that sports are super important, but it's just crazy where we put our money. 3, the rate of infidelity increases by 300% when adult entertainment is involved with it, according to a study by Social Science Quarterly. I see how this is true because if you feed the desires of the flesh, you're going to be hungry for more. It's not like when you're dieting and that you can have a chocolate bar and as long as you hit your macros, it's okay for that day. No, this is kind of scary to see. Listen to Ted Bundy's comments on the matter.
I've lived in prison for a long time now, and I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography without question.
4, 11 is the average age of first exposure. That hit home with me because that was just about the first age for me. And as I prepare for this new daughter, I don't want her to be exposed at 11 years old to that. 5, 70% of men watch and consume this content on a daily basis. That's a lot. 6, the rate of self-deletion goes up for stars in this adult industry, and the lifespan goes down. And you can look up pictures and you can look up lists of the adult entertainers that have died over the past 10 to 15 years from alcohol, from ways that should not be, from the shame, depression, guilt, etc. that leads to being involved in this. That's the exposure that comes with trading money for that task. 7, look around the next time you go to church. According to the statistics, half of the men that you see there will have consumed porn in the last few months. Where's the good news in all this? Seems pretty discouraging, right? I want to give you 5 scriptures to lean on as you begin your walk in purity. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, "No temptation has overcome you except what is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it." Romans chapter 12, verse 1 says, "Therefore, brothers and sisters, in view of the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true worship. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God." A scripture that you can use as a prayer is when David says in Proverbs 119, verse 133, Make my steps steady through your promise. Don't let any sin dominate me. And lastly, every man talks about a Proverbs 31 woman. In Proverbs 31, it details all the glorious aspects of a wife. But hardly do people discuss being a Job 31 man. Job 31, it says, I have made a covenant with my eyes not to look with lust at a young woman. So if you're watching this video today and you don't struggle with this, then great, awesome. Don't expose yourself to it, but also know that pride can puffeth up and that you could possibly struggle with this. So don't even expose yourself to it if possible, and to protect yourself and guard yourself from it. And if you're watching this today and either you battled this in the past or you're currently battling it, know that there's hope, there's a future thing, and only through Christ can you do it. There are a lot of resources out there, such as Covenant Eyes, Proven Men, that you can lean upon. Find accountability, find some support, and talk to other people about it, because when you hide this sin, it's just going to do nothing but grow.